Alright, so we're gonna change the oil on an Audi A4 3.2 liter V6, just for you guys to know. Alright, so obviously we start by opening the engine, choosing your favorite playlist. Of course, it matters in how fast you do it. Next thing, what you gotta do is you gotta get the oil drain plug. On the A4, it's a little weird, but you know, it varies by different cars. While you're getting the drain plug, you gotta make sure you have a little bucket underneath to catch all the excess oil. Alright, next what we gotta do is get the oil filter. On this vehicle, the oil filter is actually gonna be right on the engine block. It's a little tight, so I just use a little wrench. Twist. Make sure you got a lot of paper towels or some type of towel. It always helps with any oil spills, any messes. The more the better. Alright, on the screen is gonna be the type of filter that this car uses. As you can see, it's got two little rings. It's got one that goes on the outside of the housing, and it's got one that goes on the inside where you put the filter. That's what I'm working on right here. I'm doing the oil rings. Right there, I just did the housing on the outside. So now I'm about to remove the old one just by twisting it off and pulling. Clean that off with the towel, and then I'll proceed to take off the old ring that it has, put on the new one, and then I'll put needle nose pliers make the job a hell of a lot easier, so I highly recommend those if you don't have them in your toolbox yet.
Production.
Now that most of the excess oil is out, now we can get the old one out and then move on to the filter. Alright, so what I did there, I highly recommend always doing that. Anytime that you are changing the oil, it's always important for you to add oil to the filter, because otherwise you kind of starve the engine. So when you add a little bit to the filter, it goes strictly to it. It doesn't have to, wait for it to go through the pan up the engine. All right, so on screen I'm gonna show you what type of oil I'm using for this oil change. It's actually a European Mobil 1 car formula, and during the winter, colder months, I like to use 0W40, and when it's summer, I like to use 5W40. So the difference in those two is the viscosity. Being the colder months, it's a little bit thicker, going with the zero. So it makes sense for me, for me to use that during the winter. It helps with any leaks, since German cars tend to burn oil a lot more. So always make sure that you're using the correct oil for your car. Yeah, so this car takes about 6.2 to 6.5 quarts of oil. Always know how much you're adding. So as you can see me here, I'm just checking to see how much I added. First one, it was 5 quarts, obviously. Second one, I just got to add about a 1.5.
Milky Beats Production.
That's it. That's simple. Anybody can do it. I encourage you to do the oil change. So for this cart, they actually quote, not only quote, I experienced, there actually runs about $150 to have it done somewhere else. But if I was to do it, I did it for about $65. 50 for the oil and about 15 for the filter was my time. So it's always nice to know how to do things. So that's it. That concludes this episode. You guys stay blessed, and we'll see you guys on the next episode in the series. All right.
Feeling all the pressure building up inside my chest, trying to understand why I brought up on the stress. Next is gonna spread straight out to my head.